Boom, here we are. All right, let's get to the transform tab. So we're going to open up our project, and this is what we have so far. Not a whole bunch. So first off, again, you're going to look like this. This is the inspector tab, basically the exact same transform tab. Every software has this, like I said again. So what am I first going to do? I guess zoom, you move this in, you move this out. It's going to zoom in and out. Same thing for the X and Y. Position X, it's going to move to the left or to the right. Position Y is going to move up or down. Rotation, you can rotate it up or that. The pitch, this is also going to move it diagonal, and the diagonal in the other way. Pitch and raw, this is going to make it sort of give it that 3D look. Yaw is going to do it opposite, and then you can flip your image, and you can also flip it again. So again, that's the transform tab. And if you see right here, this is going to reset everything. If you see this circle with the plus, this is going to reset everything. Just this circle with the arrow is just going to reset this specific stuff. And then right here, these are going to be your keyframes. If you press this, it's going to, if you press the first diamond, it's going to keyframe all of these. If you just press one of these, it's just going to keyframe just that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to reset this, and we have to fix all these clips. So what I need to do is I need to rotate this 90 degrees, and I also need to zoom out. There we go. 0.57. That should be good. I'm going to do this for the rest of the clips. Make sure you actually select your clip. And we'll rotate this 90. Looks good. Rotate 90. All right. And I guess I forgot to say, down here is obviously your audio track. And then you see here, this is going to be your video track 1 as well as audio. So you can choose if you want to not have the video be showing or the audio not be showing. For this, I don't really want the audio in the background because it doesn't really add to this. So let's go ahead and let's go over, again, the basic things that I would use for this transform tab. We're only looking at the transform tab for now, so we'll get into all this other stuff later. This one, we don't need to use anything. This one, I would like to add a slow zoom in. So how do we do that? We keyframe our zooms, our X and Y, and then we go to the end of that clip, and we're just going to do a very slight increase. And we'll go ahead and watch it. And it's a slow zoom in. We'll fix the stabilization later, like in here. We'll go to the next clip. This one also needs a zoom, so we'll go ahead. Oops. Let's make sure we actually select this. There you go. This one as well, we'll add a zoom in. This one as well. I like to add, okay, for me personally, I like to add zoom ins all the way until the end, and then like the last 2 clips, I'll zoom out on them. Yeah, we'll go ahead, keyframe this. And the thing with these zoom ins is they're supposed to be subtle. So they're not supposed to be very jarring. If it's too fast, it's not going to look cinematic. If it's too slow, it's not going to even be noticeable. So you want a good in-between of slow and fast. A good medium between that. Typically, if the clip is around 2 to 3 seconds, I don't know, we'll look at this and we'll see if we need to adjust it, but try to have each of the zooms to look very similar to each other, if that makes sense. One, again, we'll add a zoom in. This one, I believe, is a pan shot. Yeah, we won't add a zoom in. Then this one, so we're getting to the end of our video. So these are the last two clips before we get into this loop. So I'm going to add a zoom out. So how do we add a zoom out? You don't want to keyframe this, go to the end, and then decrease it by 0.2, because then you're going to get these black backgrounds. What you need to do instead is actually go to the beginning of your clip, increase the zoom by 0.2, keyframe that, and go to the end and reset it to where it was originally. Same thing for this one. We zoom it in by that, keyframe that, go to the end of the clip, go here, and we'll keyframe that. And we, like I said, I've just messed up because I did not select the clip. Make sure you're selecting the clip so it actually gives you a zoom out. And then lastly, so this is we're going to loop this video to the beginning to the end. So we added our clip here, right? And then we extended it back towards this extra part. So to get a perfect zoom in or a zoom out on your video that like loops perfectly, you're going to add your zoom in or zoom out right now. So we're going to add this, and since this is a longer zoom in, I'm going to do 1.05. See how this, and let's go ahead and watch this. Okay. Okay, so it looks a little bit too slow in my opinion. So we'll increase all these 1.03. Yeah, these look a little too slow for my personal liking. All right, let's see. And we'll toggle this loop on later, but we'll see how that is. Oops. Part of this clip got cut off. Perfect. I think this last one, we can actually zoom it in even more. We'll do 1.07. All right, so we went over the transform tab. That's all you're gonna do, right? Okay, this video was a little bit short, so I guess we'll add in the rest of these video effects that we can use. So let's go to here. This is a great example. So we're done with the transform tab. Let's go to cropping. So you can actually crop to the left, crop to the right, top, bottom. And if you do these, you can actually do the softness of it, or you can do the softness of this video in general. This will sort of give you an opaque or a sort of that outline of that video. But I don't really want to do this, so we'll keep it at 100. And like I said again, you can actually keyframe all of these. So if you want to keyframe a crop, move to the left and then crop it like that. It will gradually get better, and you can actually the softness will be the softness of that cropping. So as you see here, it will actually make it a lot more not as clear cut of a line, but as you get into 0, if If you put this at 0, we'll decrease that. It'll be a clear line. So that's that. We'll reset all of that. Dynamic zoom. So yeah, I don't recommend using this at all for this type of clip. But we can probably, let's see if we can do it on this. Yeah, that's too much. Ease in. I mean, you could play around with these. I just personally don't like these types of zoom in and zoom out. Yeah, you can use a dynamic zoom, but I like doing it through the transform tab because I have a lot more control over it. So that's the dynamic zoom. Composite, this one, we don't really need to go over this right now. This will be in another video. Speed change, this is what if you want to make it like reverse. Oops. So you can either have it going forward or we can have it going backwards. And we can create a freeze frame. So a freeze frame will keep that video in one position the whole time for the rest of that video. So it'll move and then it'll stop right here. And freeze frames are good if you want to export these as a photo. I'm not going to show you how to do that right now, but maybe later. Let's go ahead, let's do all that. And then change speed. So you can increase or decrease the speed, and it will increase or decrease the amount of frames per second on your screen. So let's say, for example, we want 24 frames per second. We will decrease this video slightly. It's going to look a little bit weird, but that's how you do it. And then you can turn on and off pitch correction. I'm not really going to do that. That's for the audio. But yeah, that's speed. You can, I think you can. You can change the speed and keyframe it. So if you want to do like a very quick, like a speed ramping effect on it, you can. But I personally don't really use that too often. I'll have all these extra, maybe I'll go ahead and do like some extra video effects, some like advanced techniques for you guys. But for the most part, you're not going to need majority of these extra things. The most important part is the transform tab, stabilization. Those are the two most important things. All right, so we'll go ahead here, and this is where we'll need the stabilization, right? It looks good, but it's not stable. So we'll go ahead and we'll go to the stabilize, and perspective, we want to have a zoom, and we'll press stabilize, and here you can actually do how much it crops or not. This one, it doesn't need to crop, so we're good. Oops. So we're good. We don't need to use that at all. We'll stabilize this, perspective, and let's watch it. We can go for a little bit smoother stabilization. So we'll stabilize this again. Okay, I like that. Let's try 100. Let's try 1, see how that looks. That's perfect. Now, if you wanted to get a shake for this next one, actually, this is a shaky one, but we're not necessarily moving forward with a gimbal. This is just a stationary shot. So you're just going to go here and you're going to press camera lock. And you're just going to stabilize it. It'll lock the video. There you go. If we turn this off, the shaky handheld shot, but you turn it on, it'll make it nice and stable, which is what we want. Same thing here. We're going to go ahead and we'll camera lock stabilize this. Does a really good job. This one as well. We can honestly let's do a camera lock on this. Let's see how it looks. You see there's a little bit of distortion, so I'm actually not going to put any stabilization on this. And then last one, this one also needs some stabilization. We'll do perspective. We'll put this at around 50. Oops. You really got to play around with it till you get something that you like. This looks good to me. Perfect. All right, and it looks good. Stabilization is good. Lens correction. This is if you kind of see some lens distortion. Typically, I don't really have that in my videos. I don't really know what it does. Yeah, I wouldn't use this. I wouldn't use lens distortion at all. Retime and scaling, I wouldn't touch this at all. Super scale. This is if you wanted to see how this looks. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is a. Yeah, you need the pro version to use it, so not to worry. And I think we're getting cooked right now. It looks like it's going to crash. So let me exit out of this real quick. And I'll show you guys again what I already have. Looks like it crashed. Sorry, this is what happens. DaVinci Resolve doesn't usually crash. I'm also recording this, so that's why it's crashing. All right. So we're here. Boom. Let it load. Turn this off. All right, let's watch it. All right, so right away I'm looking at this and I'm like, okay, I want to increase the zoom even more. What the fuck happened here? Ah, there we go. Perfect. And that's your video inspector tab. We went over everything that I personally use majority of the time. But I hope this helps you guys. I hope that the next video will go over color grading on this. It's actually, so a lot of people color grade in different ways, and I'll go over this when we get into it, but a lot of people color grade different ways. This is how I would personally color grade to simplify it as best as possible. But yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one.